Here, I am joined by the Deputy Commissioner of Public Works, Karen Hoke, and you're going to hear some additional information about all the great work that's being done, not only by county crews, towns, villages, but also our contractors, which we have rather significant assets out there. We're going to talk about that. This is the latest information as of 6 o'clock today. Some of the information was provided throughout the course of the night, The big change since midnight last night, we have been in discussion not only with our state partners, but our federal partners as well, and we do, as of midnight, have an approved FEMA emergency declaration. And really what this means now is this going to help for us to get reimbursements for a lot of the costs, a lot of the expenses that are out there, and some of the communities that have obviously put out a lot of additional funding to get us through this, and I would say amazing time to get through a lot of the heavy snow and the removals and other things. So this will help for reimbursements for the towns, villages, and cities. Still a lot of work to be done with regards to that, though. So there's the preliminary estimates as far as what our damages are and the costs, but that's going to be a team effort, and that team effort tends to go for months, if not years into the future. So we'll be talking more about that as it develops. But that's huge for Western New York, and we want to thank our federal partners in particular for helping us with that. Erie County, I want to point out, is still in a state of emergency. That allows us, being in a state of emergency, even though we are moving forward and there's a lot of positive activity here, the state of emergency still gives us the flexibility to do a number of different things, including emergency orders with regards to some of the things that you've seen in the past, the travel bans that have taken place, and maybe some additional things if we need to. But there is daylight. We can see the end of this process here, but we do want to make sure that everybody is aware of the fact that a state of emergency does exist here in Erie County. We also, as a result of that, want to talk about travel bans that are still in place. A lot of them were lifted over the course of the evening in the last few days, but particularly hard-hit areas that are still working through this process here. Buffalo, mostly South Buffalo. It's south of William Street, so south of William in the city of Buffalo, and Lackawanna as well. So we still have travel bans as of this morning, as of 6 a.m., but a lot of the other areas that we were providing you with during the overnight hours have actually come off of the travel bans, most notably starting at 6 o'clock this morning, the town of Hamburg, and at midnight last night, the town of Orchard Park. Travel bans and advisories, we're going to touch on very, very briefly here. We do still have these travel advisories, so it's still not a great idea to be out and about, whether you're sightseeing or you're trying to do other things. It still is a good idea to keep in mind that there are advisories out there, and you can take a look now and you can see some of the towns that are pretty obviously still impacted by this. A lot of moving parts, a lot of snow still being removed as a result of our record snowfall. So Aurora, Boston, Buffalo, as I said, north of downtown, and William Street, Colden, Eden, Elma, Evans, Hamburg, Holland, Marilla, Orchard Park, Wales, and West Seneca. And we do have maps that we can provide if you so need them. The most recent big news as of midnight last night, actually, the 219 was open, and I know there were some questions as to whether or not it was truly open. It is open, and it's right down to pretty much dry pavement at this point here. It opened last night, or first thing this morning at 12:01. As far as school closings, I think the members of the media, you have some pretty solid systems there. We're pretty up to speed on what schools are open, what schools are closed. We want to thank the school systems for being proactive in those hard-hit areas. Not only proactive for today, but also right up until Thanksgiving, because it gives the crews, the teachers, people maybe that are coming from long distances into the impacted school districts, or even an open school district in some cases here, they're traveling from the hard-hit areas. So school closures, check with your local schools, and they're pretty good at updating you as things need to be updated. With that, I'm going to turn over to Karen Hoke from our Department of Public Works. She's Deputy Commissioner. She's got quite a bit of information to add, not only the great effort from our county resources that are out there, but also some of the moving parts of resources that we've brought in that are going to be out there working and continuing to work through the middle of the week.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like to provide some updates on what has been going on in the Department of Public Works, specifically in our Highway Division. Our crews in the County Highway, they're on day 5 of working on the efforts for this storm. Erie County has most equipment out, and we also have all of our county-owned roads are clear. That's over 1,200 miles of roads that are all located outside of the city of Buffalo. Erie County has also been providing assistance to various municipalities. We've hired private contractors that are led by Union Concrete Construction, and they're operating teams of high lifts and dump trucks to dig out the remaining streets in the impacted areas. The snow needs to be removed. It's being dumped at this time at the Erie Community South lot. It's also being taken to our location at Bennett Beach Park, and they're getting that out of there as quickly as they can. For the impacted areas, this is not just about a plowing operation, and that's a message that we want to share so people understand the logistics of removing this level of snow that some of these streets are seeing. We need to bring in high lifts. We also need to bring in dump trucks. They are needed to move large, heavy loads of wet snow that we're getting out of these streets that have been blocked. It's much slower than just bringing a plow in. So that preliminary work needs to happen before those plows can get in there and they can really get those roads clean. We have 3 dump trucks that are assigned to each loader. The fuel and the grease hubs are set up to keep the loaders and the dump trucks working as we continue our efforts for full clearance of the roads. It's a complex logistical operation, and it will take time for some of those streets that are impassable to be cleared in some of the municipalities that have been impacted the most severely. As far as our emergency snow clearance, we've had major progress overnight. In particular, the impassable side streets that are being mapped. We've got crews that are assigned to assist municipalities, and we're working on updating that on a rolling basis. Crews are also working on widening some of our major arterial roads, and they're opening intersections up. As of 6 a.m., key areas that need to receive additional attention include Lackawanna 1st and 2nd Wards, South Buffalo, Lovejoy, and smaller streets in the town of Hamburg, the side streets ones from the town. New York State has provided major assistance. We've gotten high lists from them and other assets that continue to arrive and for the efforts. Erie County has hired tow trucks to assist in the South Buffalo area for the city of Buffalo. Lovejoy County hired tows teaming up with the city of Buffalo and their parking enforcement officers to clear cars and to expedite this dig out. As far as some of the information on the towed vehicles, I know a lot of people are inquiring that have had their vehicles abandoned during their rescue on where they can locate their vehicle. Vehicles that have been towed by Erie County have been taken to the former Sears parking lot store that's located at the McKinley Mall. An inventory of these towed vehicles can be found on a website that we have that lists just those cars. So that would be Erie County or erie.gov/towed vehicles. You can look it up. That catalog is updated. We're inventorying that throughout the day, and you can locate your vehicle to ensure that it's at one of those lots if it's been brought there by the county. Information on how to pick up your vehicle can all be found at that link. Once the travel ban has been lifted, the towed vehicles can be retrieved at McKinley Mall Sears parking lot. For cars that have been towed by the city of Buffalo, you need to call the individual police district. We can provide those numbers. They're provided here in the slide, whether it's A district, B district, C district, D district, or E district. You'll have to call whichever area that was towed in and get further information from them as to where they're storing those vehicles that have been towed. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Just as a reminder, Erie County offices are closed today. We did want to push this out to our employees, though. Those of you that are scheduled work from home and have been working from home, you're still expected to work from home today. And essential employees of the county designated as essential, you know who you are. They're a vital part of this overall operation. If you're designated as essential, you're still expected to be showing up today. As far as the shutdown for the county government, we should also point out it includes the Department of Motor Vehicle sites as well as the health sites, and you can make phone calls to get more information with regards to rescheduling. We do want to remind folks, as you are breaking out of this ice jam and snow, and please make sure that your cars are cleared off. We've had many instances where people are driving down the road. This is no exaggeration with regards to the amount of snow we know that's on the roofs of the vehicles. I know when you're clearing it, you don't necessarily want to dump that in the driveway that you just shoveled out, but this stuff does tend to shift. You get about a half a mile down the road, you stop at a signal, and it completely obstructs your view, or worse, while you're driving down the highway. So again, we're extending that common sense message and view that we've had all throughout the course of this. I know people are eager to get out, but please make sure that you clear all the way around your cars, your tail lights, your headlights, things like that, so other people can see you very clearly, because we're going to be experiencing some high winds today, and even though the sun might be out, you're going to probably every 30 or 40 seconds get a burst, and light snow is going to blow across, and it's going to be just like you're in a whiteout condition. They can't, you can't see them and they can't see you, we're going to compound the problems, and we're going to have some more issues on the roads. The other thing we've been talking about, the recurring themes here, wind's going to be coming up. It's going to be blowing snow into more or less drifting. So with your furnace and furnace safety, you want to make sure that, you know, we're saying here, if I can't breathe, meaning the furnace here, it's not safe. So those intakes, the fresh air, they're going to shut down, and or worse, and you're going to have some carbon monoxide issues. So again, let's just make sure that we're safe out there. Everybody's going to be getting out and either cleaning their sidewalks and their driveways for the first time, or they're going to get out there and maybe try and clean it up a little bit more. But we all try to take shortcuts sometimes. We want to make sure that your equipment is shut down. You don't reach your hand into an area where you could severely injure yourself. And another shortcut, which I'm myself guilty of sometimes too, is when you're going to refuel it, you sometimes don't shut it off, or you don't wait for it to cool down. So especially snow blowers and things like that, or putting excessively warm pieces of equipment into your garage too quickly after you do it. Again, just stop and think and relax. The other thing is we want to make sure that folks check on their neighbors. You know your neighborhood, or you should know your neighborhood. Family members should be checking on other family members. You want to make sure that, you know, if people are unable to get out or need something, just go and check. It's what we do here in Western New York. You saw all the positive stories about, you know, the football game and getting people from point A to point B. That extends to more than just professional athletes. That's what we do. That's our neighborhoods. So let's just make sure that we're good neighbors and that we do check on everybody. For emergency assistance, we do want to point out the fact that if you need critical assistance, we'll get it to you. We'll assist you with that. We're talking specifically about dialysis. There are no options with regards to getting your dialysis. So as we've done in the past with our storms, we'll make sure that if you can't get out, we will come to you and we will get you to your dialysis. So a couple of things here with regards to that: medications, other medical needs if they are truly emergencies, and dialysis is a true emergency. We'll work with you on that. So we've got the number here. You can call MERS, our medical emergency radio system, and they will work with the Emergency Operations Center to get folks dispatched out there. They'll coordinate that so that we know what time your appointment specifically with dialysis is, and we'll get you transported there as well. Great working relationship with the Sheriff's Office. We've got National Guard that's helping us with that as well. These are the type of things that we activate during these major storms. But the number is 716-858-6377. That's the number to MERS, and to then get that as the conduit for us to move that process forward. The Emergency Operations Center here is continuing to coordinate things, and we expect to do that at least through the end of the day today, and we'll have more updates on that. And also the shelters have pretty much been winding down. Shelters in this particular case have been for people who had to be pulled out of their vehicles and had to wait while we got the roads open up, but the shelters are fairly clear. There are still some individuals that are there, and some of these shelters will still be operational in the event that we have some further issues with especially the heavy snow. So with that, I just wanted to add, you know, a special thank you. We talk about the first responders. That's kind of what they do, what we do, but we also should give a salute out to the family members of those first responders, because in many cases, they're the ones that are out there making sure that the furnaces are still running, that the driveways are getting done. So we do want to, as we move through this, we want to basically a tip of the hat to all of those individuals that assist us. And this building here is a beehive, 2 shifts, a lot of activity going on, and a shout out to our cleaning crew that has kept us pretty much sanitary throughout the course of this here, and we want to thank them as well. So with that, we'll take some questions with regards to the storm.